Where's the mute button? I think if you click on yourself on your video, there's like there's a little 3 dots that I see that you can mute yourself.
Do I know?
Water would be a good idea. Second.
Why does it look like they're?
Mine looks like it.
I'm on there twice for whatever reason.
Is there like a Google document open or something? What the hell is
That? She's got.
like why are there 2 strips here?
I don't know.
It's like,
Hey Beth, can you see that there's 2 strips?
Ooh, you're echoing. 2 strips where, Carly?
Where's the?
is it frozen?
It's because Margaret and I are in the same room.
Okay.
So there's like a frozen. There, I've got like my hand on my head at the bottom, but I'm talking over on the side.
Oh. What it shows for me is I've just got a strip of all the faces.
Well, I've got that, like where I can see myself talking, but I can see it over, like I can't see the book club thing.
Oh, you can't see the shared. You don't see the
Well, I see it, but
There's a strip over it.
there's a strip over it. I don't know.
I think you can move the faces back and forth if the strip's what you're talking about.
No, I can't.
That didn't work.
I can move.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I can move the one.
I wish that I was better at this like Carly is, but let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna hit present. Maybe does that work for you? Is that better? Can you see the whole thing? Okay. So the first thing I thought we could do is introduce ourselves. So hi, I'm Beth. I teach English at Kenton Ridge High School, and Carly and I planned this book club together. And it's something I really need because, I'm a little too over-involved in my job. So we're going to go through and introduce ourselves. And Stacy, I have you next on, like, right below me image-wise, so why don't you go next?
Hey, I'm Stacy Cox. I teach 5th grade science at Northridge Elementary, and I love book clubs. I'm a nerd, so this one's really interested to me because not every day I feel like I'm enjoying it. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, and then I think, Lori, you're underneath Stacy for me. Why don't you go next?
Okay, I'm Lori Everhart. I teach 4th grade self-contained at Northridge. And I also just like professional reading, and the book club seemed really interesting, and I'm really enjoying the book.
Okay, there's someone below you, and she's frozen. She's got a pink sweater on.
I think it's Stephanie.
Stephanie, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
What are we doing? Sorry, I got kicked out.
Oh, no. We're just introducing ourselves real quick.
Oh, okay. I'm Stephanie. I am the 6th grade intervention specialist over at Northridge Middle School. Is that all we're saying? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, you know,
I'm really enjoying the book.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Margaret, I see you as next.
I'm Margaret Miller. I teach 10th grade English, and also 11th grade CCP, College Credit Plus, Advanced English at Northeastern High School. And I was just looking for some way to, I don't know, give me a little bit of a push, a little bit of joy, I guess. So I enjoy professional reading, and I also enjoy meeting people that I work with and other teachers. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, Carly, I see you as next on the list.
Hi, I'm Carly Stewart. I'm the media specialist at Northeastern High School and Kenton Ridge High School. I travel back and forth. I was really excited when we elected this to do this selection because I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to connect as educators and not focus so much on our students, which I think we do a lot, and we try to, but it would be nice to refocus on ourselves. So, and then build those connections.
Jenny McDowell, I see you as underneath Stephanie with my little microphone. You want to go next?
Sure. I'm Jenny McDowell, and I'm a Spanish teacher split between Northeastern High School and South Vienna Middle School. New to the district this year.
Ooh. Now, there's someone listed as NELSD. Does anybody know who put that in as their username?
Was that you, Margaret?
I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I just want to make sure we got to everybody's. Anybody not had a chance to introduce themselves? Okay, cool. So we're going to move on to actual, hopefully, yeah. Oh, I think I went too far. We're not ready to talk about what we're going to do later. There we go. Okay, so what's fun about tonight, we only had one chapter, and thank you, Carly, for setting that up that way, because that way I had less to read over Thanksgiving. And this question's really near and dear to my heart because I'm terrible at saying no to things. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do that. So I thought we could look at the big question first. Do you feel guilty about saying no? And how do you manage that and make sure that what you're saying what yes to what really matters? So would anybody like to go first?
I'll go first. I remember that I used to, very beginning of my career, saying yes to everything and with coaching and things like that. And then I remember when I had my first daughter, I was like, hallelujah, I have an 18-year excuse for things that I don't want to do because I think it's super easy. It's just I want to be with my kids, of course, but when they're asked to do something, no, we have volleyball, we have gymnastics, we have piano lessons. It's just really an easy way to say that I can't right now, and I don't feel guilty anymore because it's my family, and I think I've been able to kind of move past that. Kids are a great excuse, and they're still young, so I got them for a while to use.
Anybody want to go next?
I can go.
Okay.
So I have not felt terribly guilty about saying no to things, but I also haven't really been asked to do too many things, but this is my first year of teaching. So a lot of my professors really advised me going into my first year of teaching to not be afraid to say no, because your first year of teaching can be very daunting to take on and kind of get into the swing of things. So I, first of all, coming into it was prepared, okay, I'm only going to say yes to a couple things if people ask me to get in and do things just because I need to be able to wrap my head around teaching in the first place. But yeah, I also haven't been asked to do too much, and I think part of that is because a lot of my colleagues recognize, oh, this is her first year of teaching, so she's probably not going to take on too much stuff right off the bat. So.
Anyone want to go next?
There we go. Okay. You know what? I think I struggle just with guilt, period. It's not so much saying no, but it's not feeling like I'm ever doing enough. I'm
never caught up. I think it's just an overall guilt bubble that I've lived in for the last 25 years as a teacher in a lot of ways. And I do feel like the last couple of years, talking with a friend and colleague of mine, Sally Hammerly, we try to remind ourselves that we can
only do the best we can with what we have in this moment. And I really just I think I just try to repeat that to myself, and then hopefully eventually I'll start to believe it. And my daughter's in college, she's gone, she's grown up. In terms of, excuses that I don't need any excuses anymore. I feel like I need to say, I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of my marriage. I need to, exercise. There are things that I need to do to be a better teacher. And I think that's hard because, like I said, I feel like I'm never quite doing it. So I'm really trying to work on that here in the last part of my life. I'm trying to figure out. And even if it's just finding friends who help me, repeat that until hopefully I believe it. And you know what? I just now at the end of the day, I say I'm going home, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going home. I'm going to be with my husband. I'm going to work out, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'll just do the best I can with the moment, with the time that I have. So that's where I am as an old broad that's been teaching for
for a long time.
I am. That's okay. Thank you.
I used to feel guilty too about saying no to things people ask, but much like many of you, you get to a point in your life and you can only do what you can do in the moment. Like you said, Margaret, and I think that Lori, you with your kids, yeah, I have a 5-year-old, so I have lots of excuses, and I feel like I'm better at what I'm doing when I only focus on schoolwork. Very hard on when I used to be a mom, where I had somebody that was constantly always there. So I mean, I think that I used to feel guilty about saying no. Lori, I think you gave me a book, or you suggested a book one time, and it was The Happy Teacher, and that was a lot of saying no. Doing 1 or 2 things really well versus trying to do 10 different things at 10%. So that's where I am. Beth, we can't hear you. I can't hear you. Did you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Beth, I couldn't hear. I can't hear you.
Can't hear me at all?
There you go. Now you
There
can.
you go. Okay, now you can hear me. Okay, so I'm curious. This isn't on the list of questions. It's just more about like boundaries with parents. I want to micromanage because I am this crazy person. What's going to be done first? And you guys are all telling me that you're fit. Like go with that and just be like, oh, that thing that committee that your principal mentioned that really needs to be done well. Like, really? I mean, I'm totally proud of all of you if that's something that you can do. And it's something that I wish I could do more. Carly knows how I do volunteer. So,
We have committees in our building that we are assigned to,
oh,
and everyone has a committee, or maybe 2, and that's what you're putting into. And it's not I can't make that meeting. I mean, it is if you have an appointment or something, but I schedule everything around that because that's the one committee that I'm assigned to do, and I'm going to put forth as much as I can to that. So I'm not going to everyone else's committees.
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not one person or it's not 2 people doing everything. It's, a shared responsibility.
I think I'm a little more along the lines of where Margaret's at, and perhaps it's just our stage in life and just experience and being in your 40s and having older kids who are going off to college. I have 4, so 2 are in college and 2 are still at home. So in some ways I still do have the excuse, but I tend not to use that as much as it is the idea that I have to take care of myself physically. That's just, and I have to take care of my marriage, and that has to come first. And it's just a matter of prioritization. If we get assigned to a committee, that's one thing because it's part of our job, but the extra stuff is what sucks the life out of us. And when your health starts to break down, that's when you know, or mentally you start to break down, that it has to stop. And it's better to learn that and put those guards in place before that happens.
Okay, so our next mini question as a part of this is how do you communicate your policies to parents and tactfully enforce boundaries around parenting? What do you do to let parents know, okay, well, I say no sometimes and I got my family and my husband first. How do you say?
I'm pretty terrible at that because interesting, right now teaching 4th grade and my kids are 2nd and 5th, that a lot of the parents I know from kids' activities and different things like that, and I do the Remind app this year, just the Remind, but I catch myself responding, if I'm just sitting there with my phone, I'll respond at whatever hour I hear it, and then a lot of parents will text me personally because, we have each other's numbers because of the kids and things like that, and so I essentially have no boundaries, which isn't good because I stress myself out when somebody will message me late to try to respond. My kids are my students' friends, a lot of them, and so it's kind of hard.
I think technology has added that issue for us too because we have these all the time and checking our emails, and we need to be careful about how we handle that. And I liked some of her suggestions in there. Maybe it's probably not as big of an issue since I don't have a lot of people going crazy with librarian media specialist issues most of the time from parents. But, I like some of her hints about drawing those boundaries. And I think that's hard for us as teachers in general because we want to fix everything and help everybody. But like all of you said, we need to take care of ourselves too, which often we're not very good at because we're always worried about other people. But I thought she illustrated some good ideas. Maybe I was surprised at how negative. I thought some of her ideas were kind of negative, like when she talked about that one parent who really had a problem and she's like, nope, I leave at 3:15. Sorry about your luck. But and I think that's just that learning curve for all of us too. Like we said, trying to get that balance, trying to help who we can, but not hurt ourselves.
I think it depends on the issue too. If it's
I decided that I am not going to check my email when I go home and on the weekends because I have it hooked up to my phone, my work email. And I've had a couple incidents this year with some parents that, I won't get into all that nonsense, but I found myself dreading. I didn't want to see what, are they going to email me back? Anyway? So I've decided that I'm not checking my email when I go home and on the weekends. I'm not checking it. I haven't actually made it so it's not hooked up to my email because I do think it's convenient to be able to get to it when I need to, but maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll take it off eventually, but I'm just you know what, when I need to handle something that's work related, I'll handle that something at school when it's work related. So, and if it's super important, people that know me know how to get a hold of me. So I've decided that's one of the things I'm going to try to continue doing is not checking email when I leave. And we're dealing with, as high school people, it's probably a little bit different than some of you guys that have some little kids, maybe in terms of, because we even get emails from kids now. Kids, instead, they'll sit in class with you but not say anything, and they'll email you. It's so that's one of the things I'm trying with boundaries.
That's exactly what I do as well. At the beginning of the year when I sent out a letter to all of my kids' parents, I even specifically mentioned in there that I will respond to emails within school hours when teachers are here, and that if they emailed me in the evening, that I would be sure to read their email in the morning and get back to them as soon as I could, but that it would be the next day. Or if they emailed me over the weekend, that I would get back to them on Monday morning. And so I made that so that they knew they could contact me, anytime, but I would get back to them during school hours. And so then I don't feel the pressure to, it's a Saturday morning and I have to get back to this parent because they emailed me on Friday night or something.
You were going to say something earlier.
I think it depends on the situation also. If it is something that can be answered quickly, like a password or a question about homework or an assignment, I'm more likely to respond quickly via remind or email. But if it's the negative interaction, I'm going to let it stew. And I'm going to type out my response and I'm going to delete it.
Maybe a couple of times.
I don't mind answering. I think just the remind that makes it so easy. I really don't mind because when I walk in the mornings at 7, I think if I just open my email then, with the parents and the interaction, I'm rarely just having time, I guess, to sit there and answer emails. But for me, it's much easier to take care of things in the evening and know I can walk in at 7 a.m. with a clean slate and just get ready for the kids. But that's me, and I love to organize and prepare, and, it's just my personality. So I just get it done.
I know for me personally, I don't get a lot of parent emails. And I agree with you, Stacy. If it's a really negative, I'm going to talk to my principal first, and we're going to make a plan before I email a parent back. But I watch my school email because, like Margaret, I'm a dual enrollment, so College Credit Plus English teacher, and they'll be in the throes of some big stupid paper, and they'll be like, I just really need you to explain. And it's due that night, and if I don't look at it until the morning, then maybe they're turning it in, and I have to, it's just going to be a hot mess. But I agree, Stacy, it really depends on what it is they're asking. But if it's like, hey, can you tell me, am I on the right page here? Like, yeah, or no. And, and then we're like that. But I don't get a lot of parent, and I'm a parent of a fourth grader, so yeah. I don't care if my kid's teacher emails me back in the morning because it's probably not a burning, like, turn it in right now kind of a thing. But did everybody get a chance to answer that one? Yeah. All right, so what about that last question? Stacy mentioned that there are committees that you're assigned to, and that that's like out of your control. But how do you contribute to your school community and be a team player without overcommitting? But beyond like the stuff that your principal says you have to do.
I can answer that one right off. Being new to a district, because we've moved a lot for my husband's job, so this has been a repeated thing of being new to a district. Looking for the things, the activities that are not long-term commitments, and will also offer an opportunity to get to know as many coworkers as possible. So,
I did type
and the things that
a
I can
comment.
do with my husband. So, like we work the concession stands at the homecoming gate, and I got to know 10 people right there within an hour and a half, and it was enough of a presence, but I didn't have to commit to anything long-term. And then we sat at the food table for the homecoming dance and made sure, nobody poisoned the candy and had a food fight or anything. But he was there with me, and he got to see my work environment and the kids. And so looking for the small things that make enough of a big statement, but without a whole lot of commitment.
I like what she had said in the book, too, about if it's something you're really interested in, putting your energy there, and if it's something that, because then you'll want to, and you'll be excited to help out. We have, like, one of our teachers every year organizes Grandparents' Day. It's really important to her, and she does a great job taking care of that. I wouldn't want to, but it's really important to her, and she loves it, and she does an amazing job.
I usually co-chair the Right to Read Week book fair with the librarian and the other language arts teacher in 5th grade. And that's something that I enjoy and I'm passionate about. And, we have family games, and we have kids from the high school come over and help, and we feed people, and it's a great community event. And like that to me is important. I know that a lot of people do other things, like you've mentioned. Lori, I know you're involved with PTO. That's just something right now that I probably will have to get involved in now that Jaden's in school with me.
Exactly.
But that's one thing that I can go all in on.
So we have 8 minutes or so left. So I think we've eaten this one all the way down to like the dregs. Does anybody have anything they want to add about anything that's on the screen that we haven't talked about?
I thought as I was reading, I was thinking about, it was early on in the chapter, it was just about all of the small, numerous activities and tasks that all of us do on a daily basis. But also, I was thinking about the library aides at our building, Barb and Jamie, and like all of the things that they do without being asked. They do because they want to because that's who they are as people, and what they're doing is important. And I just was, to kind of take a moment and just, think about that and how grateful I am for people who do. So for me, that was something, a moment just kind of take a minute and think about the people in my own building and over the years that have done things that aren't, like Carly, she'll call parents about discipline. She'll help me load students in Edmentum, so I can, so those are things that people don't have to do. They're not on a job description, but they do because of who they are. And I feel like in my building for sure, and in education, in my experiences, there are so many people that do that, and I'm grateful for all of them, because good Lord, we'd fall to the ground without all of that behind the scenes work, so to speak. So I thought about that when I was reading.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the next slide. Maybe. There we go. So next week is the same as this week. So we'll have a 4 o'clock Zoom, and we'll be discussing chapters 7 through 9. So since we have so many chapters, what Carly and I talked about with the first Zoom meeting, we're probably going to just focus on the big questions, but I'm going to include all the questions, because I felt like we were all really, gung-ho, except for me, about like, I'm going to say no, but then when it came to like, well, what do you do when a parent gets on? What do you do when? So I think the little questions did help us like clarify our philosophies, but we won't have time to cover all of them. So, and just a reminder, if you don't make one of these meetings, what we'll do is we'll have the questions in Google Classroom, and like they're already there, right? But you'll watch the video and you'll write a reaction. Is that what we said, right, Carly? So they're going to watch the video and they're going to write something about that they noticed. And then Carly and I, hopefully, will read them and reply to them so that they feel like they're part of the group. And we will have other just Google Classroom weeks. So we won't have to meet during Christmas break per se, the way that we're doing it right now.
Right. And I think wait, can you mute that? Okay. I think if anybody wants to, like if you see somebody else's and you want to respond, feel free, because I think that's what part of this learning community is supposed to be too. So, if you see it and you're like, wow, that's a really good point, I never thought about it, go ahead and make a comment. It doesn't just have to be for Beth and I to respond, but, we want to make sure that everybody gets some feedback and, we communicate together. So.
And I just have to say, guys, I think for anybody that did the Chromebook Classroom last year, this is so much better. I feel like I'm getting to know you guys, and like last one was like, so I'm really glad that Carly helped me plan this, and that we've got, I think the video thing is so much easier for me to stay after school for another half an hour than it is for me to read all these responses and like nobody felt like they know each other. And start thinking about, we thought we should do like a celebration when we were done with the book, a place that you would like to all go be, that we can go and, that's why it says to be determined. We're going to let you guys decide. Do you want to get together face to face? And if we do, where? And Carly, we talked about you were going to put like a feedback form.
Yes.
But I don't remember. We'll talk later and figure that out. But at some point, we're going to ask you, tell us how you think this is going and all that stuff. I mean, would any of you be interested in hosting one of the meetings at some point? Or are you happy with it being me and Carly?
I'm happy with you.
Fair enough.
I like being a participant.
Hey, great job on saying no. I like
how you phrased it. You didn't say no.
You said I like being a participant.
I'd like to say yes, but I think you really do a stellar job.
Well, we said there are things that, everybody's got their passion. Book clubs and getting people to read are my passion, but nonfiction is my least favorite thing to read. So I was like, Carly, we have to do some stuff where I'm reading stuff that I need to read, but I wouldn't pick up on my own. So I appreciate you guys for encouraging us to all read stuff we need to think about, but maybe don't. I mean, it's not going to be my pleasure read, I'll just tell you that. So, for the good of the order, anybody have any final thoughts?
Thanks.
Okay. Have a great rest of your week, and
Is
good
somebody-
luck with the next 3 chapters.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Do I make it stop? There we go.
Nope, I still see you. Meeting has been